We live in a world ruled by tyranny, where knowledge is suppressed and ignorance is glorified. A world where propaganda and misinformation travel the airways at the speed of lies. But in the midst of the violence and chaos, a great awakening is taking place. And as the media empires continue to collapse, a new network is forming. A network of truth, a network of courage, a network of awareness. Peace and greetings. You are now tuned into the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, where we examine current events, politics, health, finance, and topics of cultural relevance in America and throughout the world, while bringing you insightful interviews with guests that will both educate and inspire you. And now, your host of the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, Aura the Informationalist.
Please just tell me what's happening to me in plain English without the mumbo jumbo.
My aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like Aura, the informationalist.
How you doing?
Yes, peace and greetings, brothers and sisters. You are now tuned in to a live broadcast of the Network of Awareness. I'm your host, owner, and founder of the Network of Awareness, or the Informationalist, and we got a great show lined up for the Truth Seeker Series today on this Faith Over Fear Friday live broadcasted episode. So today we're going to have a guest by the name of Bill Heinrich, who is an author, entrepreneur, and also known as the Divine Purpose Guy. And in Bill's words, just to let you know a little bit about him, he says, success isn't always what it seems from the outside. He says, I speak from experience. I found success at a very young age. I was living in one of the most beautiful places on earth. And from the outside, everything looks perfect. But sometimes what's always missing is that I was surrounded by material success. With everything in place by normal standards, I found myself dissatisfied and nothing seemed to fill the emptiness inside. So no matter how much money he made or how successful he was, he didn't feel whole. And painfully aware that something was lacking, he continued to try to fill that empty space of void that he felt inside. Over the course of time, this feeling got worse and never got better, no matter what he did. And as it says in the description box, over 30 years ago, he walked away from this life because he wasn't happy. He felt miserable. And he basically committed to finding the source of this misery and had a desire to fill this void and created a new life for himself. So today the journey still continues as he expands his awareness and his consciousness. So we're going to talk to Bill and get his testimony and his story, as well as discuss his book that you're going to see in the description box. If you want to get his book, it's called Clarity Has No Story. So without further ado, we're going to bring Bill on to the show.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
All right. So, Bill Heinrich, welcome to the show today, sir.
Thank you for having me, Aura. I really appreciate having the opportunity to have a conversation with you.
Absolutely. Me too. And thank you for joining us. And, I want to get right into it because I really appreciate the fact that you had, and I do a show called, I've done a show I'm going to be building on, is called Being a Man of Worth instead of a man of success. And it sounds like you had a lot of success at a young age, but you didn't feel certain meaning or purpose that was filling you up and making you feel good about what you were doing. And you decided to make a decision to change all that. And I commend you for doing that. But let's start from the beginning. What was if you could let the listeners know, what was your childhood like? And if you could talk about that a little bit.
Well, a wonderful place to live.
I'm sorry, Bill. Can you repeat that? You had a little intermittent pause right there.
Sorry.
Okay.
Part of a wonderful family. I was born and raised in Burlington, Vermont.
Okay.
But it was back in the 50s. And, back then there was no communication. I mean, the world was so different than it is today. It's like totally different, 5,000% different. And life just didn't make sense to me as a kid. And it just never made sense to me. And I became so frustrated that I kind of quit when I was in 5th grade. I just figured I couldn't do anything right in the, how do I describe it? In the doctrine and beliefs that I was raised in. And I just decided, frankly, I kind of felt like I was going to, from what I'd learned, I was going to purgatory for a while, then right to hell. So I figured I'd have fun on the way there because nothing had worked for me up to that point.
Wow, you felt that in the 5th grade. That's amazing. Okay.
And I just kind of didn't care after that,
Right.
It wasn't a happy existence. And when I finally got out of school, I went to a 2-year business school and got into sales and had an opportunity to buy a business. I bought a business at the age of 25 and did very well with that business. The 70s, and I'm 25 years old, and at the time, I have $100,000 credit line at the bank where I can call them and I just ask them to deposit money in my account. Back then, it was different. I was in a town, so very successful.
What type of business was it, by the way?
It was office products.
Okay,
an office products business. I sold that business and we decided to move out west. And ultimately, just what happened was I was living just in pure survival. Everything outside of me. And the survival just led to more chaos, confusion, manipulation, control, judgment, blame, shame, guilt. That was my life. It was chaos. It was always a state of protection because I felt so inadequate inside. I didn't have the self-worth. So I was always protecting myself. And it finally in my 40s, I just became so miserable. I just, made money, lost money, went through the whole thing, just couldn't take it anymore. And one night went into reaction. I got very angry. And in the course of that, I was in a relationship. And in the course of that, this voice came in and said, hey, this isn't you. It was so clear. And I just stopped and went upstairs and just sat alone for 5 or 10 minutes. And it was just like, I have to go find out why I'm so miserable. And I walked out the door, committed to find the source of my misery. And that was almost 30 years ago. I found
Yeah, you had another intermittent pause, Bill. Hopefully, okay, that one was a little bit longer.
Yeah, sorry.
No, so if you could, I wanted to ask you a question about that. When you had that awakening, that moment, that epiphany, that something had to change, what was the very first thing you did the very next day when you came to that understanding?
I just had no idea.
Okay.
I had no idea what to do. And I just sat, and it's like, I've got to figure this out. And then, when you ask questions, the universe sends you information if you're open to it.
Right.
You can't ask a question without getting the information. The universe will send it to you. Then pieces started coming to me. And it was actually 6 months later, I just kind of wandering around trying to figure out what I was going to do. I had really dissected myself and found out there was nothing in, like everything was outside of me. And then somebody gave me Deepak Chopra's book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And I read that and I was like, well, this is interesting. So I'm going to play around with this. So I did. And every day there's 7 laws. Every day I would read one law, and then I would observe how that showed up in my life and how I showed up. And the first law in the 7 spiritual laws of success is that we are pure potentiality.
Right.
We are connected to everything. We can create anything we desire. And what I started to see was my thought process and my conversation was the opposite of that. It was one of struggle. When is the next shoe going to fall? Excuse me. Just where's the next problem? Problems are coming. Just hoping for the best, but expecting the worst is what I saw. And as I continued that, going through that book, I did it for a long time. I was just blown away by like how misaligned I was in life. And then it was one thing after the other. And, it was 30 years ago, and it really took about 15 years to find everything that I was looking for. All of the tools that I use now to teach my clients, executives. I've been coaching executive CEOs all around the world for 15 years now. I'm a business coach, Aura, but we never talk. It's only about what's going on inside of you. And the answer, I'll give everybody the answer right now on how to find happiness. And it's going to sound kind of ridiculous, but the answer is energy. The energy, your ability to show up to any situation in life from a place of love for the benefit of all.
Yes.
That is the secret. So, in the course of this, as I studied energy, and you want to talk about accountability and responsibility today, when we look at those energetically, which one is more powerful?
That's a good question. I think that they are both equally the same.
Absolutely.
I think you can't have one without the other.
Absolutely not.
Really? Okay.
Energetically.
So energetically, which one would be stronger?
Responsibility.
Okay. Interesting.
Because accountability means someone else is going to determine your level of success, whatever you're doing. You're seeking approval outside of yourself, and you're subject to whatever that person whom you're being accountable to. When you have responsibility, you just take care of things. When you know that you're responsible, when you know that you're responsible for everything in your life, you handle it, or it isn't correct, and you just address it. It's like, wow, like I haven't been able to figure that out. Can you give me some assistance? I haven't done that correctly. I didn't take care of what I was supposed to. I'm completely responsible for everything in my life. Rather than going to somebody and saying, hey, is this okay? Accountability can only create victims.
And can you go a little bit more in depth in what you mean by that?
Well, a victim is someone that hands their power to someone else. There's no power when you're accountable. When you're accountable, you're looking for approval outside of yourself. And when you're seeking approval outside of yourself,
Bill, you had another pause. By the way, people, the reason why Bill is pausing so much, he's in that big RV that he has. So he's probably somewhere where there's some glitches in the internet. Yeah. So you might have to repeat a couple of things during this interview. So I ask you the question again, because this is very interesting to me, because the reason why I thought accountability is equal to responsibility is because you have to be held accountable for your actions, right? And your actions are the way you respond.
Well,
because I'm thinking about parenting too, right? Isn't there, when it comes to parenting, to raising children, there has to be a certain level of accountability there, right?
Responsibility. Who are you answering to as a parent? When you're accountable, you're answering to someone else's standard.
Very true. Makes sense.
When you're responsible, you're able to evaluate the choices you're making, what you see as flaws in the way that you're doing things, and you open-mindedly look for other solutions that are going to work better. But you're not going to answer to someone outside of you. Now, when you talk about accountability, as you stated it, and I'd paraphrase it if I was re-saying it, but that's social policing. Society has laws in order to maintain some control.
Right.
But that's all in the physical. That's in our physical life. Responsibility is in our non-physical life. Responsibility comes from you inside the inner game, your position. So what it does when you realize that as a parent, Aura, is it allows you to have more power by taking full responsibility. It's entirely up to you. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. And it makes sense. And as far as when I also think about working for somebody else, like having a job, having a job versus being your own boss, being something where you have control of what it is that you do to gain income, opposed to getting a paycheck because of something you're doing for somebody else and what they expect of you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting how you said that, by the time you was in 5th grade, you was already feeling a sense of unhappiness. And of course, you felt more of that unhappiness as you got older, even though you had a successful business at the age of 25 years old. Because a 25-year-old that has a successful business, that has a credit line of $100,000, and I don't know if it was the 60s or the 70s. I don't want to make it. It was in
It
the
was
50s.
this was in the 70s.
Oh, in the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
don't want to make you too old, but
Hey, listen,
that.
I love my age. I will be 75 years old this year.
Oh, all praises for that. Yeah, my dad is 75. So, what's interesting about that is that most people that were in a position like you were in the 70s, it's it's like being a millionaire. It's like you very successful. You could do whatever you want. You have money to do whatever it is you want, and you're living that life. But for you, you didn't. You felt that emptiness. And there's a statement that you made that I thought was very it was very like on point from my perspective.
Mhm.
And you said something like, why do they say that people are living with a blindfold on? And I think that a lot of people have the blindfold on because of something you said earlier, is where you find a certain level of success, what's considered success by the standard, right? When you talked about accountability, is calling according to man's standards, a man's laws, everything that is controlled, everything that is perceived according to somebody else's perception that you adapt
Right.
to, that you take in, instead of finding the success
That's it.
and the happiness from within, which is you said the non-physical, the spiritual self. And a lot of people, and I've seen this, it's even happened to me. I was forced into it because I was always having that spirit of doing things that made me feel happy. And then I had family members saying, well, you got to do this. And, even to this day, I'm not married. And some of my siblings and family members feel like I need to get married. I need to have the white picket fence and the house and the cars and the 2-car garage and all this other nonsense that I know is not going to fulfill me spiritually and what I'm supposed to do to serve others. And the reason that I'm even here, my purpose that was given to me by my great creator. So I noticed that people, or at least from my perspective, that blindfold is they get a job, and then that job winds up putting them in survival mode without
Mhm.
them even being consciously aware of it, to the point that while they're in that survival mode, they lose a sense of self where they don't feel happy. They
Right.
don't feel like they're doing something meaningful because they're constantly trying to make something happen with something that they put themselves into to just survive. So they
Mhm.
don't even really get to love what is that they're doing. And I know somebody, I have a sibling like that I once asked, what is it that you love to do? And at the age of 35 years old, my sibling told me, I don't know what I love to do,
Mhm.
because
Very
they've just been
common.
working to make money.
Mhm. You know, we live in 2 dimensions. We live in the physical dimension. That's life on earth. That's what's out
Right.
in front of you. You look around, that's your physical dimension. But what runs everything is the non-physical dimension. The universe runs everything. And here's the law of the universe. Everything's a vibration, and the universe is only in organic expansion.
Right.
That's the energetic flow of the universe. The universe is unlimited, it's infinite. Everything on earth is in a state of limitation. The number one thing that stops everybody in business and in their life is one word. It's a 3-letter word, and that word is HOW.
Hmm.
That stops everybody in their tracks. So, going back to what you were saying about the way people live, the quick synopsis that I found on life is this: Number one, we are just energy. When we leave, our energy leaves, then our milk carton stays here.
Now, you said when you say our milk carton stays here, what do you mean by that?
Our body. This is just a container of our energy. That's all it is.
It's the vessel.
It's a vessel. But in the physical, everybody judges the vessel because everybody's stuck in survival, stuck looking at the physical. So
especially here in the United States.
Yeah, everywhere. Okay. And I'm going to explain why. So what happens is energetically, we're perfect when we're born. Perfect. And we're completely connected to all that is energetically. That's all we know. And then we come into limitation and we're born. They slap our ass and then everything goes downhill from there. It's all about survival from there. It's all about work hard, do this, do that, don't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. And people go through life, and the fascinating thing is, and this is a fact, there are 38 different life lessons in the physical. Everybody has life lessons, and the life lessons are extremely complicated. But when you have life lessons, that means you're here to learn something. Does that make sense, Aura?
Absolutely.
And if you're here to learn something and it's your life lesson, that means you're looking at things that you know nothing about, thinking of your absence, because of your absence of understanding that you're working with such limitation. You know, it's kind of like if somebody's born without one limb, they go through life and they figure out how to live that way. And we do the same thing in survival with our life lessons. We go through with our perceptions. But the fact of the matter is this: the boundaries on our ignorance aura are so narrow, it is laughable when you consider all of the magnificence, all of the resources, all of the beauty available to us free when you understand how the universe works. These resources are all there. And what it's all about is how you feel, how you're able to show up to any situation in life. And because we're in survival and we're taught that, what people are doing, their main focus is how to get to death safely. That's what people are focused on, having enough to survive, to whatever point they're going to die. Is my 401 big enough? Can I retire? It's just all about survival. Consequently, they're always in a state of protection, because that's how our mind and our ego works, to protect us. And it puts you immediately in a state of judgment, always comparing better than, less than, they've got, I can do that. And when we get the new house, everything's going to be perfect. When we do this, it's all going to change. No, it isn't. And this is where this accountability and responsibility comes in, because one of the other components in accountability, because that's the way people live, accountable to society. One of the biggest components in accountability and responsibility is, from a standpoint of accountability, there's no equality, Aura. You can't be equal in the state of accountability. In responsibility, if I work for you and you came to me and said, hey, I need to have you create this. We need to make this. We're going to I would say, great. This is a collaboration. This isn't an assignment. Do you feel the difference in that? When we both understand that we're collaborating, what are we doing? We're both working for the benefit of the achievement. If I'm in accountability, it's like, hey, honey, he just gave me this thing to do. I don't know how I'm going to figure it out. I got to work late. I've got to stay up. It's just, It's all survival. When you look at how your perceptions, the path your perceptions take you on with that energy, energy controls your life. Your stories control your life. There are stories inside you that are running your life, and your life is out of control. And if you don't agree with that, you're in trouble, because the fact of the matter is, we don't know the day we're going to die. We don't know how much more time we have here on earth. And in order to make the most of it and to be happy and to live a fulfilling life, you have to stay in the present moment.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Would it be a proper assessment to say that accountability puts you in a state of competition at all times?
Sure. In essence, you're
right, because you're competing for the
you're trying to win
the standards.
Yeah.
Or to fit into the status quo.
And not being in a place of equality prevents you, because you're seeking approval in what you've come up with, right?
Right.
But in a collaboration, we get things done. Right? Like this morning when we met, we got on, and it took you a little while to get the show going because you had to make some adjustments yesterday in an interview that you did.
Right.
Okay. Wonderful. I just sat peacefully. There was no judgment in it. I understood. I'm here to be of service. In life, things are always happening that are challenges. Good mental health is getting past your current challenge, fully aware there's another one waiting for you. That's good mental health. Because life is only a search for clarity. We're always in a constant search for clarity, and your mind will never take you there. It's impossible, because your mind can only access your past experience.
Wow.
Your mind or your mind cannot come to the present moment. It's not possible. It isn't possible.
You know, that's such a profound statement, because when you talk about clarity, and we're going to also talk about your book, Clarity Has No Story. When I fast, especially when I go beyond a 48-hour period, my level of clarity is on steroids.
Yeah.
It really is. It's on steroids. Why? Because, you know, you don't have any food in your body. You're completely operating off of your spirit, that higher self, not the physical, not even the mind, because the mind, like you said, is a lot of past
Start screaming
stuff,
at you.
and it can't be present. But when I fast, I find myself to be present in the moment, but the moment is infinite as I'm present in it. Because one of the things that I realized is that when I do fast, because I still fast, is that I'm operating in a manner where I'm not really in control of what's happening, because I'm allowing that universe, I'm allowing that higher force, the Most High, the great creator of all things that ever was, to use me as the vessel that I was intended to be used for.
Right.
And a lot of people find that they may not be able to interpret it in that way, because we all have our different interpretations, but it all leads us to the same place.
And what you're doing is 1000% non-physical.
Right.
It's non-physical. What you're doing is eliminating the toxins that we put in our body every day, allowing those to cleanse your vibration.
Yeah, you got stuck there again, Bill. You might want to repeat what you're saying there.
you get the toxins out,
Right.
or you don't add anymore. Because you're not adding more, because you're making a conscious choice to connect, you go into a state of expansion. Massive expansion, right, Aura?
Massive, massive.
And you can't have that experience in the physical. You have to connect to the non-physical to have that experience. In fact, everything in the physical is pretty much going to have a view that's the antithesis of what you're doing, right? What do you mean you don't eat for 2 days? And what are you, nuts? Well, it's just completely contrary to surviving. It's called thriving. It's going in, a few weeks ago, a month ago or so, one of my clients gave me this big tip. Okay. Give me a big tip. I sat in the energy of receiving for 72 hours. It took me to a new energetic field. And I was like, I just want to get familiar with this because I'm coming back here, because receiving is a difficult thing for people in survival. But the energy of receiving is just so phenomenal. And I just sat in the glow of that energy. This isn't about, I'm so good, man. This guy gave me, this. I'm talking about an upper 4-figure tip. Okay. Like, I'm so good in this. I just sat there and went, wow. Can you imagine that somebody has an appreciation so deep that they wanted to share that abundance with me? What a beautiful thing. That's what it was. So yeah, fasting's amazing.
It really
because
is.
you can reconnect as you fast and you get familiar with that energy. That energy becomes more and more available to you when you're not fasting. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk about surviving and thriving. What's the difference?
Surviving is living in the physical and protecting yourself, always having the need for more, make more money, bigger house. It's just all about the physical. And this is why when you're in survival, you're going to go into judgment, blame, shame, and guilt. You're going to use manipulation. You work with a goal, and the goal is, we're going to take this. I'm going to take this business. I'm going to make this much money this year. We're taking it from here to here, and it just consumes your entire life. Everything you think, say, and do is focused on your goal, and you're absolutely. But when you get there and you achieve it, you look and you go, oh, there's another one. It never ends. When you work with an intention, my intention is to create this, because in the universe, everything comes from nothing. So you can create anything you desire. So my intention is, like the business I started when I was 25, over a 7-year period, they were doing about $90,000 a year business. And I sold the company 7 years later. We were doing almost $1 million a year business. When your intention is to take that to $1 million, I sit in meditation and get connected to how it's going to feel when I get there. I embody the energy of that I'm creating and just allow it to come to me. I don't care how it comes. I'm right now working with another coach, very high level coach, and just love her energy. However, they all work in the physical. It's, oh, do this and you do this and write this article every week and do this and do this. And it's like, no, I'm not doing that. That's doing. I'm being. I'm a human being. I'm not a human doing.
Yes.
Survival is about doing. Thriving is about being. And when you're being, and that energy, like attracts like. And energetically, when you don't have a goal, but you know how it's going to feel, when it shows up, it's always 100 times better. When you have a goal, you're actually stepping into a massive state of limitation. Because your whole...
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I had to drop a bomb for that one because can you repeat that one more time, please?
When you have a goal, you're eliminating collaborating with universal energy. You're totally fixing the physical.
I had to drop a bomb on that one. Go ahead. You just dropped a nuclear bomb.
I've got more.
No, yeah. I mean, because it and I'm sorry for interrupting you because I want you to continue on what you're saying. But it is so true because when I do this whole narcissism series. I'm really big on narcissism because I was in a relationship with a woman who was a big time narcissist. And what I came to find out, not just through her, but through other friendships that I had to let go of, they were very toxic. People that I dealt with, they were very toxic in my life. I noticed that the level of narcissism, especially in the United States, is increasing because you have people that are in survival mode, and the way that they survive is by seeking validation from others. And
outside,
outside of themselves, they have a deep sense of insecurity. They're not comfortable in their own skin, in that milk carton, so to speak. And they're just constantly seeking for validation wherever they can get it. And if the energy supply runs low somewhere, they're going to find it somewhere else. They're going to discard the other person that is the spiritual being. Instead of seeing them as that being, they're seeing them as a vessel for their purpose, for their use. And their level of empathy is completely gone. So they are just these toxic vessels of energy that is sucking the energy out of other people for just
their
pure
own benefit.
Validation. Right.
For their
just
own
for somebody
benefit.
to pat them on the back and tell them how great they are.
So let's go back to the relationship you were in with the narcissist. Okay. At that moment in time, you were a narcissist.
Yeah. Because I'm getting that energy and I'm giving it back. Right. Bill, you cut out. So whatever you're saying, you might have to repeat it. Yeah, you had an intermittent pause.
Sorry about my blips here.
Okay, no, that's fine. Go ahead. Whatever you were just saying, you're gonna have to repeat it because it got the pause.
When you were in that relationship, you were a narcissist. The world's a mirror.
Right.
Water seeks its own level. Water seeks its own level. We do too energetically. And what happened was you got there.
As soon as you start getting to the meat and potatoes, Bill, the intermittent pauses start happening more frequent. If you could repeat that again, you said when you get there.
I'm sorry about this. Yeah.
No, that's fine.
When you were in the relationship, you were a narcissist, and this increased your awareness because like attracts like. So everybody else in the circle was coming in, and you were like, whoa, is this the way I want to spend the rest of my life? And what choice did you make?
I said, hell no.
You gained awareness,
Right.
and it's awareness that allows us to make changes. Everybody in survival's in a state of protection. The mind and the ego can only protect and create fear. That's it. There's only two emotions, love and fear. Everything stems from those two emotions. Your heart cannot generate fear. It's impossible. It can feel fear, but when it feels fear, that fear is coming from a story inside you and your head. So your mind, in the physical, it's all about fear, protection, and limitation. In the non-physical, it's just about love and being of service to all for the benefit of all involved from a place of love. That's it.
Right.
And when you do that, it's like, oh my God, how will I ever make it? You become a magnet, because people will never remember what you said, Aura, but they'll always remember how you made them feel.
Feel.
Have you ever heard that before?
Absolutely. All the time. And it's very true because you can go somewhere, I went to an event. Well, I shouldn't say it's an event. I went to go celebrate Passover with people that I congregate with. And you're meeting people for the first time. And these people even know you. A lot of these people know me from my platform, right? And my platform serves people all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it even though I'm doing something really good, and I say some things sometimes that people find to be very meaningful, and it'll stick to them. It can be easily forgotten because it's really about how I'm making the person feel at that present moment, and them taking that energy and doing whatever it is that they want with it. And I think that's where inspiration comes from, because somebody can be very inspiring to another person based on how they make them feel. And if usually that feeling is, or there's either one or the other, is they're gonna make them feel like they're gonna make them feel like shit, or they're gonna make them feel like they wasted some time, they wasted that energy, or they're gonna make them feel like that moment that they, or that time that they spent with them was very meaningful and precious, and they won't forget that feeling. And where the other side is where they want to forget that feeling, but they can't, but they remember how bad it felt. And a lot of times, um, what you were just saying about that is so true because um you're gonna be that guy or that woman. You're gonna be that man or woman. They're gonna be like, "Hey, when this person was around, I didn't feel good, or when this person was around, I felt great."
Mm-hmm.
And most of the times, if you the person that's making somebody feel great, they want you to come around more often. And if you're the
Mm-hmm.
person that made them feel not so good, they're not gonna really miss you when you're not around.
Mm-hmm.
So go
Mm-hmm.
ahead, Bill. I didn't just want to say that
No,
point.
no, you're 100% correct. In the physical, there's only one thing that's true, just one in your physical life. That's how you feel. That's 100% accurate. What you see in the world isn't, because you're seeing it from your past. So you're making up what you're seeing, as is everybody else. But when I talk to you about my struggles and some deep sadness that I felt as I witnessed different things, we both know sadness, Aura. The story doesn't matter. It's the ability to connect in that emotion, to share.
Yeah, you had another pause. You were saying to share what? To share what exactly?
Sharing your feelings is the only way that you can connect. You had indicated earlier about your situation with your siblings. Okay. The reason people judge you is because they're questioning their own validity.
Oh man, let's drop another bomb on them. If my oldest brother was to hear this right now, he'd be so pissed off.
Well, you want to know something? The way you live in survival, it's like if what Aura's doing is right, then what I'm doing is wrong. And there's no such thing as right or wrong.
Exactly. Exactly. There is no such thing as right or wrong.
There's only energy when you follow energy, you know the truth. When you're standing in front of somebody, I don't care what they're saying. If they're angry, you know they're angry.
Right.
And you get to choose whether or not you want to be in the energetic field of anger. Anything you judge, you are.
Facts.
Anything you judge is you. It's something inside of you that you don't like that you see in another person. When you look at the world in front of you as a mirror, you only have to look at the 5 closest people to you. That will define your life. If you want to change your life, you need to step in. You need to step out of your boundaries. You need to have the experience of what else is in the world. You need to live without the social policing and make choices like you are, or that feed your soul. When you're doing these broadcasts, you're feeding your soul. Isn't that true?
It's absolutely true. Yeah.
Your soul knows this is for the benefit of all involved from a place of love.
Right.
The highest form of service. You can go no higher than that. So there's so many different aspects of this, I mean, it's as you jump into it. I work with people all the time. We all have life lessons. There's 38 different life paths. Everybody's living life with a blindfold on, making decisions based on who they aren't.
Bill, let me ask you a question, because you talked about judgment and judging, and it's so true. When we judge people based on, what it is that they're doing, a lot of times is what we see in ourselves. And I find myself doing that because there's a lot of times where I see people doing things that I can feel the energy is somewhat toxic. And I try my hardest to be in a state of non-judgment and be a state of peace with these types of people. But I find it very difficult sometimes because the energy that they're giving is it's draining. It's not like what we were talking about. It's not serving a greater purpose for everyone involved. It's only serving themselves. And when I see that type of behavior, I start to judge, and I start to be like, hey, that's not right. Like, this is
Yeah, but
the
do you
type
know
of
what you're
energy.
judging?
Exactly.
What you're
that's
judging, but what you're judging is yourself.
Yeah, like we were talking about, I'm judging
like,
myself because
why the hell am I even around these people?
Right, exactly. And what I do is I try to not be around these people as much as possible.
So I'm going to give you a tip here. You said about the toxicity, somewhat toxic, something like
Right.
that.
Absolutely.
Okay. No. Toxic or not. In the universe, there's only a vibration. A client says to me, yeah, probably. I'm like, there's no probably in the universe.
It either is or isn't, right?
Right? There's no trying in the universe. In the universe with energy, here's another one for you. Ready for another bomb? Never make another decision in your life. Ever. Why? Decision means final. It comes with stress, overwhelm, and it's completely focused on the physical life. Make a choice. From a place of choice, you have power. Choices can be changed. Choices are you. Decisions are made for everybody to see and come with stress and overwhelm. The Latin root word for decision is final. A choice is just a choice. The universe is always in a state of change.
I'm over here, I don't know if you had another intermittent pause there, but I'm learning a lot from this discussion with you because I remember hearing, I think it was Bob Proctor that said to not make a decision is a decision.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is don't even concern yourself with making decisions. Make choices. Because choice is where the power lies. But what is isn't that the same as making a decision, choosing something?
No. Decisions
Can you give a breakdown of what the main difference between choice and decision is?
Yeah. Choice comes from responsibility. Decisions come from accountability.
Okay.
You feel the difference?
As soon as you said it, I felt it.
Yeah.
And it's something honestly that I'm going to meditate on after this discussion.
Yeah.
I'm really going to meditate on that.
There's no power in you don't have any power in decisions. You have power in choice.
It's interesting you say that, Bill, because every time I've made a decision, it hasn't gone well for me. When I make choices, though, that's where I gain the clarity in the choice that I make.
Yes.
Because it's
and
not
that
final.
Choice takes you
It's
to
always
new clarity.
evolving. Right. It's always evolving.
It takes you to new life is a surge of clarity.
Absolutely. Bill, you had another intermittent pause. This one's a little bit longer. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking though, Bill? The first thing I started thinking, like 20 minutes into this discussion, I was like, this episode right here, it's going live, right? And then of course it's going to be there. It's going to be for people to hear throughout for the rest of their lives, and on the audio as well, right? And this, for me, the way I'm perceiving this discussion, I as far as for the people that are listening, it's going to be the two things, one or the other. There's going to be people that are really going to embrace this episode and they're going to find a lot of meaning in it. And then there's going to be other people that think this is one of my shittiest episodes ever. They're going to think that a lot of this information is mumbo jumbo.
Why?
One or the other.
Why are they going to do that? Because they have to protect their position. They have to protect where they're at in life. Right. They can't be open-minded enough to just observe new information. You don't have to own it. You don't have to act on it. Just observe it.
Yeah. It's that cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
That kicks in.
Yeah. It's fear. Listen, I know how to move energy. I've been doing this for a long time. I can tell you, people either run to me or run away from me. There's no in between. And when they run away, they're always pointing their finger at me. That I'm,
Yeah.
you know, and the one that come to me, I have one gentleman who just joined my super conscious mastermind. Second meeting with him, he asked me about psychologists. Psychologists are great. Anything you do to improve your life is good. He said, well, I can kind of understand that, but I've been going to therapy for 2 years and I've learned more from you in 2 hours.
Right. Yeah.
Because when you grasp it, you get to see the magnificence of this experience that we're having. It's not about working. It's not about retiring. It's not about getting to death safely. It's about connecting from a place of love and enjoying the beauty of the difference of the other person, because every one of us is different. And every one of us is exactly where we're supposed to be on our spiritual path today. It's that simple. And when you come from that place, it really changes how you live your life.
Wow. And yeah, and I agree with the guy that you were having the coaching session with, because in a short period of time, I think that a lot of people are going to learn a lot just from this discussion that we're having here. You had a question that you have on your profile that talks about what blocks us from finding our life purpose. So can you educate the listeners on what is the blockage that that's preventing us from finding our life purpose?
Yeah, I didn't hear that whole question, Aura.
Oh, okay. We had an
I'm
intermittent
sorry.
pause there.
Yeah, intermittent. And I've got a hard stop coming up in 9 minutes. And I want to answer the question, but what I'd like to do, I'm up in the mountains in Tennessee. I live in an RV. So I'm using Skylink, and this is what's causing the interruptions. And I'm going to be all summer in a place where this won't happen, and would love to come back on and go into some deeper conversations with you.
Yeah,
But
we
what
got
was
to
your
definitely have
question?
you come back. We got to definitely.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it up with this question, and then we'll wrap it up. The question was that you had a question in your profile that talks about blocking us from finding our life purpose. Can you educate the listeners briefly on what is that blockage that most people have that's blocking them from finding their life purpose?
The most direct answer for that is defensiveness. In the physical, our mind and our ego will only protect us. In the non-physical, it's just about love. And with love, it needs no protection. In fact, with love, the more you give, the more you get. There's nothing to protect. Everybody, this is going to change your life. Start listening to how people speak. They all speak from a defensive place. When your brother asked you why you didn't live a normal life, that was a defensive question. He's like, like he's thinking like, I'm concerned about my brother. Like he's lost.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, you'd be surprised how he's he kind of knows. He's starting to realize how not lost I am and how he really is,
and how connected you are, and the magnificence that you see around you in your daily life. It makes life worth living, doesn't it, Aura?
Exactly. They also notice how I don't adhere to man's laws. And what I mean by that is like, of course, I'm going to stop at a red stop sign or something like that. But I don't hear to the way men say or society says I should live my life,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to the social norms of
Mhm.
things they say, oh, you should do this because the news said this or the president said this or this person. No, I don't go by that.
Everybody kind of follows the leader, the trends. In the pandemic, the big word, the one that makes me want to throw up is pivot, right?
Yeah.
And I'm in a mastermind group myself, and everybody, "Oh, I'm going to pivot. I'm doing this." And Bill, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to go sit on the couch. I'm going to pause. No pivot necessary. The pandemic, my world was no different with the pandemic. The pandemic is just another form of limitation. That's all it was.
That's all it was. And Bill, I'm glad you said that because just it's limitation. Even this platform that we're broadcasting to Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube and Spreaker. The YouTube guys, they canceled 6 accounts of mine in 5-month period. And one of them they terminated without no warning. Why? Because I was talking a lot about what you said when it came to the pandemic. I was breaking down
Well,
information that they didn't like because they wanted the information to be on their platform to conform to
mhm,
whatever the big pharma tech companies or the big pharma companies wanted us to believe to be true.
mhm,
And when I was revealing the lies in all of it, that's when I started getting hit really hard.
yeah,
And since then,
yeah,
it hasn't been the same for me on my
mhm,
platform.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. That would be interesting to talk about the next time I come on. If somebody's listening and they want to do a 20-minute clarity session with me, they can go to speaktobill.com. All they have to
Speaktobill.com.
That's it. Go to speaktobill.com. Fill out an application. We review the
Oh,
application to see if you qualify to meet with me, because some people don't, because I can see from their answers they're living in survival, and where they're at, this is an all or nothing game, isn't it, Aura? This isn't like, yeah, I'm kind of 40% committed.
right.
No, this is like, I'm all in. So, but I'd love to come back on. I hate to cut this short, but I've got another commitment. And when I come back on, I assure you my internet will be fine.
Okay, yeah, Bill, it was a pleasure having you on, and we'll definitely you and I'll stay in contact with you. Through we'll talk through
Mhm.
Podmatch because of course I have to give your review and all that, which I'll do after this is over. But in the meantime, I wish you well on all your endeavors and things that you're involved in and the purpose that you're serving, and I greatly appreciate what it is that you're doing. And I very much look forward to having you come back, sir.
I do too. I loved our conversation, Aura, and we can get into some really nitty gritty details. Um, and unfortunately, I'm dealing with the limitation of what's happening with this my Skylink today. It's just the way it is. Uh,
Yeah.
there's some good information in between the interruptions, though.
Yes. Yeah, there is. So all right. Well, Bill, thank you for coming on. And you and I will be talking soon.
Love it.
And once you have everything squared away where you're in a place where we can do these we'll do multiple shows because I have series that I do. This
Mhm.
particular show is called the Truth Seeker Series, so I'll have you be on multiple Truth Seeker Series episodes.
Wonderful. I'd love to. I really appreciated the conversation, or I have a lot of reverence and appreciation for your choices in life.
Thank you.
I want to let you. I wanted to let you know that.
Appreciate that.
We'll
So there
talk
you
again.
have it, ladies and gentlemen. This was well, I'm gonna keep going here. Because I'm doing a live broadcast, so I'm gonna stick around for a little bit. But you and I will keep in touch, and people in the description box, Clarity Has No Story, which is a book that Bill wrote. If you want to get it, the link is in the description box. And then, Bill, is any last comment you want to make before you go?
No,
Or
Clarity Has No Story is free. They can go download it. The book I wrote about my coaching and the work that I do is called The 7 Levels of Truth. And that's a direct path to your life purpose. And that's available on Amazon.
okay, great.
Good.
Great.
Thank you so much.
All right. You're very welcome, sir. And have a great day. And I'll be talking to you soon.
Create a special day for yourself. Thanks, Aura. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, brothers and sisters. That was Bill Heinrich. A lot of great information, man. I mean, what he was breaking down is a lot of spiritual awareness. It's like when you start to realize that everything on this planet is an illusion. It's all about energy. It's all about vibration. It's all about either you're going to feel a level of high vibration. You're going to have those emotions of joy, happiness, jubilation, or you're going to feel those emotions of anger, depression, resentment, envy, right? Which are those deadly sins, and reason why they're deadly sins is because it creates spiritual death. Or you could be fulfilled with that spirit that the scriptures talks about. You could be filled with an understanding of coming from a place of compassion and love, and not necessarily attaching yourself to a particular outcome, but instead being one with that moment instead of expecting an outcome. And it's something we talked a lot about here, about where you set goals and you want to meet the goals. And I've talked about this before, being a man of worth instead of being a man of success, because success is temporary and being a person of worth is forever. It never ends. It's always evolving. It's not stagnant. It doesn't stay in one place. When you're meeting certain goals, it's like you achieve these goals, and then it's like, well, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And it creates these limitations. And something that Bill said that was very profound was that, making decisions is final. It limits you. Where if you make a choice, that choice is it's everlasting. It keeps you evolving. It doesn't take you to just one place. It's constant. And he blew my mind with that one, because I'm definitely going to meditate on that, because in my personal experiences in life, when I've made choices, the choices were far better than making a decision. And it's funny because the way the Most High works, and from what I've gathered, is that when you're put in a predicament where you either make a decision and you have the decision or the choice, usually when you make the decision, it's always wrong. It's always something that doesn't work out in your favor. Um, and when you make the choice, there's a certain level of freedom in that doesn't pigeonhole you or doesn't keep you stagnant, where even if the choice that you make may not even work out in your best interest, you can always change it and you can always do something different, whereas the decision becomes more final. So I'm going to keep this broadcast going because Bill had to go, and we had these intermittent pauses and stuff like that. By the way, the reason why we had these intermittent pauses with him is because he's the type of person that he kind of lives off the grid. He lives in an RV, and it's a huge one. I've seen it. He lives in this big RV, and he travels around the country and just basically lives in this RV. And it's quite inspiring for me, because how he's so detached from the world, but so intact with the spiritual realm, when it comes to this thing called life. And I just find it, very interesting. We're gonna have him come back, of course, when he has better internet connection from that Skylink that he was using. And that way, we can have a more in-depth conversation on these Truth Seeker series. But also, too, what I want to do, because this is a live broadcast, and now that I'm back, I did take somewhat of a couple of days off. So, for many of you that were wondering why I took a couple of days off, it was because I wanted to not think about anything but just being present with where I was at. And where I was at was in Georgia. I was in the Atlanta area celebrating Passover with some beautiful brothers and sisters in the BOCC. And it was very fulfilling for me because I haven't done anything like that in a long time, or really much ever, as far as congregating with people that are truly in the spirit of the Most High in Christ. And um, I had mentioned this before on a broadcast that I had did briefly, and the audio had a little bit of floor noise that we don't have now, and it was because I was using a different mic. But what I was starting to realize while I was down there was that you don't always have to be doing something in order to be living. And what I mean by that is that sometimes fulfilling your purpose is just experiencing things without having a certain agenda, or having, like what Bill was talking about, setting these goals and things that we have to do. And I gained that understanding while I was in Georgia, because I was just being in the present. Whatever choices were available, we made choices and went along with them, and they worked out very well. And even though there was a regiment of daily events that we were engaged in that were somewhat structured, I was still able to just be present and be at peace and be surrounded around people that were not casting judgment, but just being in that spirit of everlasting love. So, with that being said, something I haven't done in a while, or actually I did some of it last week, but we're going to do some more, is we're going to play some music. Something I haven't done. So, since this is Faith Over Fear Friday, and this is a live broadcast, and for those that have seen on the bottom, this is episode 91 of season 5, Accountability versus Responsibility. Now, season 6 is coming, right? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna postpone season 6. I'm not gonna just put season 6 out right away. I'm gonna wait, because I have a TV network coming up. I have a TV channel that I'm gonna be putting out. So what I want to do is I want to put season 6 out at the same time I'm putting out my TV channel. And it's going to be a lot of work that's going to have to take place in order to make that happen. So what I'm going to start doing is, once season 5 ends, which will be the 500 episode, which we actually have more than 500 episodes, but technically, according to Network of Awareness, when it comes to the seasons, when season 5 is over, it will be the 500 episode, right? So once we reach 99, the next episode will be the 500 one, and it'll be listed as so. And I'm going to do like a big finale to season 5, like I normally do. And usually what I do is I try to bring a bunch of people onto the show. And I'm going to try to do that again. I'm going to try to bring as many people onto the show all at once, so we can have a celebration to season 5. And I'm talking about, on this platform, I can bring up to 10 people. So as many people as I can bring. If I could get 10 people on, I'm gonna bring 10 people. But if it's 2, if it's 5, whatever it is, I'm gonna do my best to make sure that that happens. And then what's gonna happen from there is I'm gonna do a lot of bonus episodes moving forward until we launch season 6. And then of course season 6 will have its own, it'll have its own title, right? Just like season 5 is Great Understandings. So I don't know what season 6 is going to be yet, but it's going to be something epic. and it's going to be something meaningful, right? For whatever the spirit is calling for. And a new term that I was talking with a sister yesterday, and I came up with this new term. Um, well, it's not really a new term, but it's a little joke. But it's if any of y'all remember that girl, uh, what the hell was her name? The girl that would say that she was on the Dr. Phil show, and she then became famous through music and her OnlyFans page and stuff like that. I can't remember her name. It's a little white girl, pretty little young girl. Um, the one she would be like, "Catch me outside, catch me outside." Well, that chick, right? I was thinking about what she was saying, and I was joking around with a sister yesterday about how I was like, "Catch me inside." So that's a little phrase that I'm going to start doing, and I'm going to record it. I'm going to try to record her voice, but I'm going to have it saying catch me inside. And the reason why I say catch me inside is because catch me inside the spirit, right? Catch me inside. That's where we need to be caught at. We need to be caught into the spirit, not outside the spirit, right? Like a lot of us operate. We need to be caught into the spirit. We need to be caught in. So catch me inside the spirit. And I hope that I can catch you inside the spirit, because if I can catch you inside and you can catch me inside, we can be inside of the life of what, Christ was living and still is to this day, right? Because that energy that's been left is still here. That energy that resonates, we can resonate with it or we're not with it, you know? So catch inside the spirit. I hope that many of you can catch that spirit of compassion and love, and that spirit of righteousness, and that spirit of awareness, right? Spiritual awareness, or that spirit of consciousness, Christ consciousness. But with that being said, let's play some music. I'm going to come back. This is episode 91, Accountability versus Responsibility. And I could tell you something. Something Bill said that made a lot of sense is that this platform, it brings me a lot of not only awareness, but it brings me a lot of happiness because of what it's serving. And I've told people this before. When I got attacked last year, and there was people telling me that I should stop podcasting, that my podcast sucked and all this other stuff, right? It was all coming from a place of just low level energy from these certain people, right? But one thing I had said to Billy Izzy a long time ago when I first started this, because it was a question that was asked to me, like, why are you even doing this? Why are you even going to do the network of awareness? And the first thing I said, and I still stick to it to this day, is that I don't really do this for people. I don't do this for all of the people from around the world that tune in. I'm grateful that these people tune in and they get the meaning, but I do this for the Most High. I do this for that great power that we come from. I do it to give back to that which has given me the opportunity. So, as a vessel, I'm just here to bring forth that spiritual awareness. And that spiritual awareness is always evolving, it's never stagnant, it's always constant. That's why I do this. And it's the only reason why I'm still going. Because if I would have been doing this, if I would have made that decision, right? Like Bill was saying, that how decisions are final. If I would have made a decision that was final, like I'm doing this for people, once those people that I would have been thinking that I was doing it for would have shitted on me, then there would have been no more purpose in doing it, right? And the reason why I bring this up, people, is that live your life for the Most High. Don't live your life for men or women. All right. It's good to collaborate. It's good to do things together with our fellow brothers and sisters in humanity, right? As human beings being. But it's another thing to do something for the Most High, because when you do it for the Most High, when you do it for the great creator of that which is and always will be, there's nothing that can stop what it is that you're doing, because you're not doing it for the world. You're doing it for something far greater that you can only begin to understand. and that understanding never ends. So let's play some music, and I'm gonna come back, and we're gonna start off with a song that I did with Take One called "A Quest for Salvation," and then we're gonna play some other music from some other brothers and sisters. We'll play some DeFree, some Yazan, some Rico Moss, some Take One, some Demon Slayer. We'll even play. I mean, we're gonna play a couple of songs today, and some music. We're also gonna play some instrumentals, some beats. So let's get into some of that, and I'll be right back. All right, brothers and sisters. And you're now tuned into the Network of Awareness, right? Let's go.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
I'd have made mistakes on purpose to divide the worth from the worthless. Reveal the facts to be certain. No pain, no gain in the verses. My faith been alive before churches. Cause Yah is person, I'm person. So I'm worried about complicated versions. Cause the call to divine divergence. I'm still hurting, soul searching. Networking and murking. Anytime think I drop my curtain. With a spirit that city suburban. I'm seriously merging and physically working on my purpose. To lyrically service the mental malnourish until I perish.
Yahweh's gonna save the awakened, then take him to an angel's haven. Patient, I can't stray away, gotta keep obliterating the pavement. Still remember that day on the phone, Mark, he said, yo, don't you take your foot off the gas. Always something to give y'all praises.
We're the dark oasis, countless cases, a peak of faithless. I'm gonna need the patience to beat the chases. We seek his graces for true salvation. We keep on praising, we go on blazing these revelations. Cease to age, no altercations. Good vibrations, we back to basics to build foundations. Y'all defeated Satan. I'd have made mistakes on purpose to divide the worth from the worthless. Reveal the facts to be certain. No pain, no gain in the verses. My faith been alive before churches. Cause Yah is person, I'm person. So I'm worried about complicated versions. Cause the call to divine divergence. I'm still hurting, soul searching. Networking and murking. Anytime think I drop my curtain. With a spirit that city suburban. I'm seriously merging and physically working on my purpose. To lyrically service the mental malnourish until I perish. Pursuing acts of violence. Third persistent act of defiance. Freely forming a righteous alliance. Truly against the science appliance. On a mission with wisdom and guidance. Steady defeating the ignorant science. Really convicted and non-compliant. Spiritual wars to move in
Let's
silence.
talk about what matters. Drop the vanity. Folks out here losing their sanity. Kids popping off lust and fantasies. People grieving over loss of family. The evil that be with the power. Turning the people with credence to cowards. Seeking to seize believers with vows. Many even Stevie can see that it's foul.
I'd have made mistakes on purpose to divide the worth from the worthless. Reveal the facts to be certain. No pain, no gain in the verses. My faith been alive before churches. Cause Yah is person, I'm person. So I'm worried about complicated versions. Cause the call to divine divergence. I'm still hurting, soul searching. Networking and murking. Anytime think I drop my curtain. With a spirit that city suburban. I'm seriously merging and physically working on my purpose. To lyrically service the mental malnourish until I perish.
Depression gone with every song. Music led by another echelon.
To get you strong, keep pressing on. Long after we dead and gone.
From dusk till dawn, we're righteously armed with spiritual lessons from Yah.
We where we belong, we keeping on. The righteous with third of Zion.
Records embellished with heavenly eloquence.
Elohim's presence presently evident.
Intricate elements, infinite intelligence.
Spiritual specimens lyrically resonant.
People's inheritance, smaller percentages.
Carefully measured and meant to be
With
shared.
the message projected, cemented, embedded.
The sensible question is, what will you get from it? I made mistakes on purpose to divide the worth from the worthless. Reveal the facts to be certain. No pain, no gain in the verses. My faith been alive before churches. Cause Yah is person, I'm person. So I'm worried about complicated versions. Cause the call to divine divergence. I'm still hurting, soul searching. Networking and murking. Anytime think I drop my curtain. With a spirit that city suburban. I'm seriously merging and physically working on my purpose. To lyrically service the mental malnourish until I perish.
Peace and love right now.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
I ain't playing about it. I need my money right now. I don't care about that shit, but the hunters give me power to change the world. I'm coming for the man's throat. We killing Mother Earth, yo, it ain't a fucking joke. Turn the TV off, read the book, stupid. Get your mind right if we unite.
We could do this. I was born to ride for the cause, wildin' out in my drawers, bad it, fuck the laws, they corrupt. I do my own dance to my own drum, sing my own song. I ain't heard nothing real in so long. God soldier, yo, your time's over. Mobbing with my posse, overthrow ya. Power to the people. Love conquers all, kill what's evil. It's like 1, 2, 3. I go by the name Death Free. Peace and love, that's how I rock. And you know that we won't stop. Why, yo? 1, 2, 3. I'm for hope and equality. I can't believe that they done shot Nipsey. Too much violence, it must stop. Why, yo? No one's innocent, we all play a part. If we turn our heads, then we ain't pure of heart. Takes courage, baby, who's coming with me? Who's down to step up? Who's getting busy on the pump bench? Pick your fucking trash up. Osa's dying, threw your damn cup out the window. Microplastics for the kiddos. More fire, more carbon. More liars in the government. Folks starving, folks tired. Who's riding? It's like 1, 2, 3. I go by the name Death Free. Peace and love, that's how I rock. And you know that we won't stop. Why, yo? 1, 2, 3. I'm for hope and equality. I can't believe that they done shot Nipsey. Too much violence, it must stop. Why, yo? We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love right now. Why, y'all? We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love right now. Why, y'all? Hey, yo, spread it. All that hatred got to dead it. If we don't come together, then we gon' regret it. Headed towards freedom with no break, no exit. The man's time is over. You can say I said it. Spread it. All that bullshit got to stop it. Right against each other, yo, that's what he always wanted. Robbing for the guys, for my guys. Get it on till I die. I'm a freedom ride. Change is gonna come. We gon' spread it. That peace and love. We gon' spread it. That peace and love, we gon' spread that peace and love right now. Why, y'all? We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Is a network full of awareness and gifts like aura, the information list.
Yes, we are live here on Faith Over Fear Friday, brothers and sisters. Episode 91, Accountability versus Responsibility. Let's go. Yes, we got to give a shout out to the brothers out in Venezuela, out in Uganda, Russia, Namibia, Guatemala, France, Spain, Italy, Indonesia, Australia, Peru, Nigeria, Singapore, and Germany. Let's keep it going, brothers and sisters. This is State of Awareness. We haven't played this in a minute. Let's go. Yeah, this is one of my instrumentals. You know how we do. I know a lot of people haven't heard this one in a while. Well, hopefully you in a great state of awareness, brothers and sisters.
You are now tuned in to the network of awareness.
Yeah, shout out to all the gente in Argentina. Shout out to all the peoples out in South Africa, Philippines, Mexico, Angola, Kenya, Brazil, India. Shout out to all my brothers and sisters in Canada, United Kingdom. Keep it coming. Keep it downloaded. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters out in the U.S., to all my peoples out in Oregon, Hawaii, Massachusetts, New Mexico, Montana, Washington, Arizona, Idaho, D.C., Mississippi, South Carolina, Illinois, Missouri, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Nevada, Kentucky, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Minnesota, Colorado, Utah, Virginia, Louisiana, New Jersey, North Carolina, California, Oklahoma, baby, Alabama, New York, Georgia, Texas, and Florida. All praises to the Most High. Let's go.
To trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom.
Christine, you know how strong he is. You can't win!
Yeah, we ready for war. Moving on one accord. Brethren at my side. We just gotta endure. Taking my thoughts and bringing to Christ. Throwing down imaginations. I'm just trying to stay patient. Stand fast, can't wait. Yeah, we ready for war. Moving on one accord. Brethren at my side. We just gotta endure. Dodging demons like the Matrix. I'm just trying to go home. Swore made it that truth. So I just gotta move on. Ready for war, ready for death if it go like that. So if I die, I pray that I die for the most I got. I can't turn around and can't look back, so it's all out war. I'm seeing the path so narrow, careful to not fall. Get up for it's too late. Sun come with a blaze with a judgment in that day. Won't see where the sun went all black like sackcloth and the moon blood. This is a warning to go and repent. This is a warning to seek out the lamb. This is the point where you go and examine. Gotta stay patient, I'm looking inside. Trust the Most High for all my life. I love all my brothers, we suffer with Christ. When it feel like death, just know that it's life. Don't give up, Christ pay that price. Don't give up, Christ pay that price.
In the mix.
Yeah, we ready for war. Moving on one accord. Brethren at my side. We just gotta endure. Taking my thoughts and bringing to Christ, throwing down imaginations. I'm just trying to stay patient, stand fast, can't wait. Yeah, we ready for war. Moving on one accord. Brethren at my side. We just gotta endure. Dodging demons like the Matrix. I'm just trying to go home. Swore made it that truth. So I just gotta move on.
I'm a little concerned right now about your salvation and stuff. How come you have not been baptized?
Because I never got around to it, okay? I don't know why you always have to be judging me, because I only believe in science.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Here we are back again, about to drop some facts again. Yahweh's word spreads like a vicious net for capturing those with an ear to listen, those who paid attention, those who stand bold like a soldier with their convictions, not quick to fold or throw in the towel when under pressure. They walk it like they talk it, they live the message. But depression's what most folks are facing. They got the vaccination, we in zombie land. Pretty soon we gon' have to dance, better keep that sword in your body, bam. This far from pain, Babylon will bring down the flame. Some deaths are better off real slow, so you can witness the pain. You tortured slaves, 400 plus years of pain. Hung brothers up in the trees, swinging for days and days. Now this is your end of days, you looking so disarrayed. Try to cover your ears, but the truth still gon' penetrate. The hatred is strong, but races still want to imitate and integrate. Only Yahweh's chosen holy nation can ever be this great.
Yahweh's amazing. Before I eat, I'm saying my graces. I pray for knowledge and wisdom and peace. We dwell in greatness. 144,000 frequencies and vibrations. So don't give me amp. Go take a hike and camp like concentrations. Pull up my pants and send my genes to elevate genetics. I'm concentrating, no recess to dominate recessives. No car insurance, the way I swerve, baby, like impressive. Stephanie Courtney, know my flow is looking more progressive. My aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like aura, the informationalist. Shout out my brother, take one. All these chances in life, don't hesitate and wait to take one. We are the true Jews, about to take off. Hit the nose, we don't play soft. I pull up and let like 8 off. Watch the demon hair splatter, give me back my platter that y'all just ate off.
Yo, remember what we talked about being something special as 1/3? I feel like we're finally here. A righteous Wall Street, bro. Yes, sir, let's get it.
All praise to the Most High. This is only the beginning. Yahweh, Yahweh. Righteously preparing, raising our awareness. The social engineering, just faithful Bavarian. Salute to those faith in it, kings and Greece creating it. That's people awakening. 2/3 keep forsaking him. 1/3 keeps on praising him. Putting all my faith in him. Those people be making it. Munching on some making bits of ignorance remains in bliss. In this life I came to win. Righteousness I'm living in. Truth is the enlightenment. Yahweh's the embodiment of peace and redefinement. Elohim is in the science. Go grown out for lions. Raising the horizons. Frequency just heightens. Spirit always brightens. No fear can ever frighten. A man on the mission. Living out his visions. True to the tradition, gaining all the wisdom to be freed from the prison transition with God's mercy, with the early worthy, realist, righteous visionaries.
Too many people live their life in sin. You gotta change your life before the very end. The signs of the times and we know it's coming, but I walk in this light of to and fro, you'll be running. See, I choose to serve Yahweh Elohim instead of pursue a life of finer things. So break free from vanity, iniquity, depravity, to free yourself from death and all calamity. Yeah.
Yahweh's with me, I be walking in my truth. I overcame my struggles, I'm the living proof. The truth's a weapon, just put it to good use. You can hang a lie by the neck, something like a noose. Y'all favor me, the real one, cause I'm a visionary. Committed to the truth, exposed to lies like a visionary. Tell them that the world that we live in is fucking crazy, so don't be moving shady. Y'all's protecting his people.
The world is trying to back me up against the wall like a cat. Guess what? I'm clawing out of that. Big facts. Guarantee no pussies over here. When it all goes down, I'm negating all fear. You hear? Lend me your ear like a homeless man asking for $1. The irony in that 2/3 are going to holler cause it's not gonna work shit. You dead. Put your body in the ditch if your ass cannot handle it. The elite is playing with us. Call it Squid Games. You decide if you want your brains falling on your lap and let the rats eat it. Just to be safe, no honor in that. I'd rather be with killers that spit facts. You would never see me selling my ass for some cash. Hollywood is gonna burn down and crash. I'm a bit excited about this. No tear dropping when it really ends. It's about to hit like Goku fists. Good demons cannot block this.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. Make me a nightmare for people like you. Make me a nightmare for people like you.
Low kick.
I got the 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me.
It's time to ride or die, homie.
Yeah, it's time to ride or die, homie.
Man, this how we survive, homie.
Yeah, this how we survive, homie.
That's why I keep the 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me.
This word is for the wise, either ride or you gon' die. It's the blind leading the blind. We've been fighting for our rights, now we fighting for our life. Still no light I see inside, but I see the light inside and pray I don't go out my mind. I got a 9 in my hand and a couple of bullets. All I need is a reason for me to load it and pull it. There goes one in the shoulder, another one in the leg. Gotta finish the job and put another one in his head. I was told it's him or me, I'ma live to see another day. Killer do the killing, I don't see it any other way. People do the talking, I don't care what motherfuckers say. Keep your social distance or you getting blown the fuck away. No more Mr. Nice Guy, gotta be the bad boy. I'm on high alert, I got all of you niggas paranoid. I'm way too much at peace for you to ever bother mine. That's the bottom line, cause we all live in them all the time. The 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me.
It's time to ride or die, homie.
Yeah, it's time to ride or die, homie.
Man, this how we survive, homie.
Yeah, this how we survive, homie.
That's why I keep the 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me. You can die till I die, homie. I leave a nigga paralyzed, homie. What you know about the 9 on me? With that 45, feel like plies, homie. I look up at the sky like I'm the guy, homie. Got him grinding off the muscle you supply for me. What you know about your bestie trying to ride on you? I ain't never tell, bitch, I define loyal. That type of upper shit just make my blood boil you. How you hate me after all the shit I done for you? Now I'm forced to get my head right, but that's kinda hard when you to dodge death twice. Respect life, but this ain't a show, I'm dead nice. I'm the one that could bring us to the next fight. Shed light over everything bad, I'm the one with a gun, it's a tech fight. Blah.
You are now tuned in to the network of awareness.
Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him.
I'm just trying to be purged of my sins. Demons all around, they trying to get me to slip. Pray to the living God, I need you to be my defense. Closing my eyes, bow my head, I'm ready to win. I'm just trying to be purged of my sins. Demons all around, they trying to get me to slip. Pray to the living God, I need you to be my defense. Closing my eyes, bow my head, I'm ready to win.
Can't go back and I feel that pain and it hurts like that. You know when you cried to the Most High. Can't find the words, but he come down fast. He saved me alive. Remember the day that I buried my grave and I wanted to die. The stress and the trauma is hard to survive. I feel it again, but this time it's different. I learned from mistakes. I'm running the race, endure the pace. I feel I can fly, but then I got hit depressed. The evil is watching my steps, and I know why. We telling our people repent, just look in the mirror before it's too late. The Lord on the way, he coming with fire, I'm hitting the gas. The Lord on the way, he coming with fire, I'm hitting the gas. Old man did a dash, so I can't go back. Remember last wife, looking around, cause you might turn back. Eyes run narrow path, we living in water, surrounding each other, protect one another, we follow the land. I swear I'm fighting. Lord, I'm bleeding, oh. I swear I'm fighting. Lord, purge me, oh. I'm just trying to be purged of my sins. Demons all around, they trying to get me to slip. Pray to the living God, I need you to be my defense. Closing my eyes, bow my head, I'm ready to win. I'm just trying to be purged of my sins. Demons all around, they trying to get me to slip. Pray to the living God, I need you to be my defense. Closing my eyes, bow my head, I'm ready to win. I'm just trying to be purged of my sins for the last time, yeah. I'm just trying to be purged of my sins for the last time, yeah. I gotta go harder, we holding the sword. Stand with my brothers, we standing in war. Moving together, move on one accord. We on the road to the kingdom. Don't look back, stay focused till the king comes. I'm just trying to be purged of my sins. Demons all around, they trying to get me to slip. Pray to the living God, I need you to be my defense. Closing my eyes, bow my head, I'm ready to win. I'm just trying to be purged of my sins. Demons all around, they trying to get me to slip. Pray to the living God, I need you to be my defense. Closing my eyes, bow my head, I'm ready to win.
Yeah, Oxakai, ORRA, take one. There's only a mad time for this happen. We about to hit you some bars to resonate with your soul. Bar Smiths, let's go. Let me talk my shit. American dream is nothing more but a mirage to keep you enslaved, controlled by the synagogues. They gave us a white man with blue eyes, called him God. Malcolm X started to learn before you sabotage. The truth that Muhammad Elijah was a fraud. The whole Islam nation, nothing but a facade. You industry niggas, nothing but some cheap rods. Riding them balls to Satan, giving his dick a massage. Americans Babylon, hidden in camouflage. Brotherhood recruitment area, Masonic lodge. Triple scoops of the cold truth, that's how it dies. Taking shots that even Neil can't dodge. Landing the evil, robbing you for your morals, promoting care and evil. Heavy surveillance that every camera can see. GMO processing everything that they feed you. Wicked ways to the world is here to be
Thank ya, I'm alive. This world's so empty, I need you with me everywhere I go. I'm fighting day by day and night, hope you can spare my soul.
There's no world trade, now the world trades in pain. Is this an accident? Is one single the strange? We trapped in it. Perhaps you're trying to tactics to form the basis to sanction. Internet interactions, following your bad habits. No matter how much you making, they always got their eye on it. It's evident the government don't want a peasant resident become activist artists who want business or residents. Cause sooner or later, we're residing right next to them, controlling your next of kin, teaching them the world of sin. They only learn the worst of it. Every kid a quit. We're barcodes and biochips. Slowly we accepted it, pretending it's benefiting. But I didn't want to know what you be heading and what you're getting and selling. Cause in Armageddon, your brother is overprotected. So you always say yes to him. He wants to be respected. When our service has expired, he'll get tired and we all be irrelevant.
Thank ya, I'm alive. This world's so empty, I need you with me everywhere I go. I'm fighting day by day and night,
Hope you can spare my soul. Hey, on the surface he's grinding, but deep inside he's crying, trying to keep his eyes on the prize to keep them aside smiling. All stacked against him, he leans on Yah and not fought of violence. And when he call on Yah, Yah responds with such flawless timing. His environment's filled with zombies, it's not the brightest. Finding ways to escape this place, he gets lost with rhyming. Using his gift to uplift, but also constant reminder that somewhere someone needs his songs to give all praise to Yahweh. Don't worry, just don't worry. Yahweh's gonna bring us home. Hey, got the heart of a lion, armor all on his body. He shoots the hardest thing ever, but still he costs the mileage. Deep in the trenches where wickedness prospers all the time. It's like the good gets punished just for doing what is smart and righteous. As the stars are aligning, Yahweh's calling his finest. All united, not divided. Tough road, but I think I'm alive. Thank Yah, I'm alive. This world's so empty, I need you with me everywhere I go. I'm fighting day by day and night. Hope you can spare my soul.
I hardly ever say much, but they do whatever I say. Yeah. Every time I pull up in the driveway, she be like, oh my Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. I hardly ever say much, but they do whatever I say.
In the mix.
Every time I pull up in the driveway, she be like, oh my Yahweh, hopscotch on your planet. Why you all up in my space? I hardly ever say much, but they do whatever I say. Yeah. Every time I pull up in the driveway, she be like, oh my Yahweh, hopscotch on your planet. Why you all up in my space? All these battles that I face, which I go proceed at a high rate. I watch them migrate and hide, cause when I rap I really hydrate. Catch a wave while you thugging out. And God is a woman, she love me wow. Make you spark your inner Noah's Ark. I got a flow that will flood your house. Every day is celebration. She roll it up, no hesitation. Sativa, I got from Shiva. Guarantee infinite elevation. There is love in the air. Release the ether, watch it linger. Middle fingers in the air. If you got a middle finger, I have to let go of the past, cause I crave a better future. Now my homegirl got an ass, and she meditate like she Buddha. She got the sauce like picante. We got the sauce like BBQ. We got the sauce like tomatoes. Escape from hell like I'm Kratos. I hardly ever say much, but they do whatever I say. Yeah. Every time I pull up in the driveway, she be like, oh my Yahweh, hopscotch on your planet. Why you all up in my space? All these battles that I face, she fetty wop, she come my way. She swerved for me on the highway. I'm higher than life and God's ways. I'm trying to live, you a zombie. I pay my bills like I'm Cosby. I grind, kick, flip, and ollie. They witness how I be so gnarly. Back to the future like Marty. You're a slacker, McFly. My flow will approach your MK Ultra. I'm hacking your mind. Just let me be, or be left behind. Better climb your ladder. My flow antimatter. Vibrate through your spine.
to the network of awareness.
Please just tell me what's happening to me in plain English without the mumbo jumbo.
My aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like aura, the informational list. My aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like aura, the informational list.
Yeah, we coming to you live from the Tampa Bay area here in the Sunshine State of Florida. This is All the Informationalists, and you now tuned in to the Network of Awareness. And this is erotic hip hop. Let's go. Faith over fear Friday, brothers and sisters.
You are now tuned in to the network of awareness.
We about to turn it up a notch.
In the mix.
I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
Yeah.
You are now tuned in to the network of awareness.
Do your own research. You seek out the truth. You stand in your truth no matter what. Yeah. Shalom.
How you doing?
Let's get it. Use your own mind. Be your own man. Use your third eye. Gotta take a stand. Always walk by faith. Fuck man what they say. Just always be you. Keep on seeking truth. I had no choice, I had to make it. All them chances I kept taking on myself. All within, hide yourself, I channel him. Yahweh guiding me, how can I lose these niggas fools? Taking COVID jabs, I see right past the hokey dokey shit. The joke, just keep your third eye woke. Cause they will try to sleep you, but my vibration rising higher. Gonna fly, the wings is spreading. Now I'm flying, government spying. They trying to kill you off one by one. Agenda 21, 22, they keep hiding the truth.
Open up your eyes.
Stand in your truth. Open up your eyes, keep on being you. Open up your eyes, stand in your truth. Open up your eyes, just keep on being you. Use your own mind, be your own man. Use your third eye, gotta take a stand. Always walk by faith, fuck man what they say. Just always be you. Keep on seeking, truly growing, awaken, vibration raising. I'm flowing toxic energy. I'm shedding, seeing everything with my third eye. You can't relate if you sleep. You a sheep, you can't see what's going on in front of you. You hypnotized by the TV. The shit getting crazy, pushing agendas. The truth is constantly hitting you, forbidden from waking up anybody. When you do, they silence it. Only way to get ahead is sell your soul. Once you jump down the rabbit hole, can't turn back. Open up your eyes, stand in your truth. Open up your eyes, keep on being you. Open up your eyes, stand in your truth. Open up your eyes, just keep on being you. Use your own mind, be your own man. Use your third eye, gotta take a stand. Always walk by faith, fuck man what they say. Just always be you, keep on seeking truth. Use your own mind, be your own man. Use your third eye, gotta take a stand. Always walk by faith, fuck man what they say. Just always be you, keep on seeking truth.
Yo, this next joint that I'm playing on here is called Just Me and My Dad. This is one of the first songs that Brother Take One ever put out, ever put together. And of course, it's giving respect and honor to his father. So respect and honor to the Heavenly Father, and respect and honor to all the fathers out there that are providing great guidance to their sons and daughters. Let's go.
You are now tuned in to the network of awareness.
First off, I want to give praise to Yah for blessing me with the father who's played his part and helping me to become who I be. A young man striving to do good deeds. I honor your dad, you've always been there for me, giving me words of wisdom when days ain't sunny. Thanking you and mom for all the love. It's too genuine cause it's from up above. Not perfect, but hopefully I've made you proud. A happy parent is what parenthood is all about. Life's never been easy, you've always had to fight and sacrifice so we can have a happy life. All the surgeries was a nasty bite. Tribulations, every man carries a bag of strife. But I can see it's made you full of light. I just pray that your soul can be spared in the afterlife. Shotgun? No need to ask. Ride around town, just me and my dad. Our bond gets strong as the moments pass. We laugh and telling jokes and having a blast. Honor, glory, praise to Yah for blessing me with you as my pops. People can throw stones, chuckle, giggle, and laugh, but at the end of the day, this is me and my dad.
In the mix.
Today's youth in trouble, no father in sight. That makes them want to join gangs and constantly fight, cause they hurting deep down inside. And the beast won't stop until they found a guide. But by then, the damage has already been done. The streets done raised them, so has his gun. Looking up to those that they idolize to pave the way, and they praise them as if they're gonna save the day. A single mother can't raise a man all alone. A house household without the father is just not a home. Young males carry a lot of problems with them. Hard to win when they got so many odds against them. Countless males without a father figure can't sit back and act like it's not an issue. Before a handful, the Lord's got a vision. So keep your head up and may Yah be with ya. Shotgun? No need to ask. Ride around town, just me and my dad. Our bond gets strong as the moments pass. We laughing, telling jokes, and having a blast. Honor, glory, praise to Yah for blessing me with you as my pops. People can throw stones, chuckle, giggle, and laugh, but at the end of the day, it's just me and my dad. My life almost flushed down the drain. My past was vain and I was so lost in rain. But thank you, oh Lord, that I got away like a getaway slave who unlocked the chains. With support from my dad, I'm only getting better. Penning out these rhymes like it's a written letter. Hoping it touches somebody once they hear the message. And that it keeps them warm like a knitted sweater. It's such a blessing, can't thank you enough, Lord. Just hoping you can keep me strong on this tough road. Praying that you bless Dad with strength and health. It can help, only you know all the pain he's felt. Despite old age, your spirit's still lying like, and your faith is still glowing like a shining light. Wouldn't ask for another father when I got you. My love for you is permanent, just as much as a tattoo. Shotgun? No need to ask. Ride around town, just me and my dad. Our bond gets strong as the moments pass. We laughing, telling jokes, and having a blast. Honor, glory, praise to Yah for blessing me with you as my pops. People can throw stones, chuckle, giggle, and laugh, but at the end of the day, it's just me and my dad. Love you, Dad. Stay safe, stay strong. All praise, Yahweh.
How you doing?
In the mix. 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 In the mix.
Don't you get rid of this. Consider this thing.
Shout outs to my nephews, Take One and Demon Slayer. Let's go.
Don't you get rid of this. Consider this thing.
How can you walk upright when your pants falling and you sipping on lean? Can't even go a day without Mary. Stuck in a web of projection. Billboard stars twisting your conscience up like a wind-up toy. Got your daily problems all bottled, but you try to cap it with a pill. Reveling views for the thrill, and escape to remove from the real. Is it really cause you in peril, or is it mimic Hollywood? Please tell. Sip after sip, snip after snip. You're killing yourself, can't see it's draining your soul and taking a toll. Don't take it from me, tell him JB. Yeah.
My spirit was dead, clouded with haze. I was chasing the high, labyrinth mind, numbing the pain. Stuck in the cycle, I wish I had closed. I look at my wounds, open as torture, but it's too soon. Another excuse, I was addicted. Capital E, evicted out my own body, had no control. Passenger seat, I was out for a ride and I noticed that the ride won't end. Had to jump out that car, took a leap of faith. Too attached, had me crash, got up leaning, and I got out scarred. Most I saved my life, he cut them demons down. He healed me all around. So I'ma tell you right now, this world ain't worth it, no. Those drugs ain't worth it, no. Don't lose your purpose, whoa. Yes, I'm talking to you, children. Listen to your parents now while you have them. Especially hold fast to their words when they talking about Messiah. Consider this a warning now.
All right. I hope everybody enjoyed that very long instrumentation music session. We haven't had one of those in quite some time on the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, because we are a radio station as well as a podcast. And if you would like to send music, you can email me at aura@networkofawareness.com, or you can submit a request at networkofawareness.com. And if you want to be a guest on the show, you know, it's just not the guest, the professional guests that I have international through my Podmatch account and service. But if you want to be a guest on the show, you know, there is a guest form that you can fill out at networkofawareness.com. Fill that form out and I'll get back to you and we can see what we could do. And we'll have a pre-interview chat, and if we could work something out, we'll bring you on the show. If you have certain types of products that can help people better their lives, you're definitely welcome to come on the show. And we're always looking for sponsorships. We also could put out commercials for brothers and sisters, which you're going to be hearing a lot of, especially with the TV channel coming out. What else we got here? The other thing too I want to mention is that when we come into, like I said, to season 6, we're going to put out a lot of bonus episodes before season 6 launches. So we literally got we got about 8 or 9 episodes left. Yeah, about 9 episodes left until we wrap up season 5, which is great in the standings. And I hope that today's show, Accountability versus Responsibility with Bill Heinrich, gave you a lot of, it was very edifying and gave you a lot of great substance. Because that's what we like to do here. We like to bring awareness, because when you are aware, you are prepared to live the life that you was meant to live. Not the life that somebody determines for you to live or decides for you to live or says that you should live. It's the life that you are meant to live through the grace and the power of the Most High. So, when you live in the present, there is always an opportunity for a new beginning, brothers and sisters. And I can't stress that enough. Be present. Be present in this new beginning of your life, because it is always constant and present. Do not live in the past and do not believe the lies of your past. And don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel, because you're never going to find it. All right? Because the light is within you. You're going to find it right here within you. The vessel serving the Most High. So, light up the darkness. If you're in a dark place, if you're in a state of depression, if you're doubtful, if you're feeling somewhat of lack, if you're feeling somewhat confused, find the Most High. Be present. Light up the darkness with the light inside you. The light is within you. There's nothing that can dispel that. There's nothing that can deny that. The only thing that can deny that is your doubts, is your lack of understanding, is your lack of belief within yourself. Because at the end of the day, we're all here to serve great purpose. So light up that darkness and find your way through the darkness and through this tunnel of life. So, with that being said, giving all praises to the Most High, and peace, love, and light, brothers and sisters. And until we meet again, I'm gonna let this beat rock out, and I'm most likely gonna do a bonus episode tomorrow, because we missed a couple of days while we was on the vacation for the feast days. So we'll do a couple of bonus episodes over the weekend. And then, of course, we'll be back on Monday with ending out season 5, Great in the Standings. So, shalom, brothers and sisters.